What we have just seen is one of the most unbelievable hour and a half of political craziness that you can possibly imagine. I honestly leave that debate thinking as long as this man is in office, we are in serious danger. That is honestly how I feel after watching that. That was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in my entire life. We have a lot of post-game coverage here to go through, and I'm thrown after watching that, frankly. That was absolutely incredible. We'll give you some of the clips, some of the big moments from the debate, and I can't wait to get the reaction from the panel. We'll come to them here in just a moment. But first, I want to go to Glenn Beck. He's the host, of course, of the Glenn Beck program right here on BlazeTV, co-founder of Blaze Media. And Glenn, I mean, I guess if you're just looking at this from a sports competition viewpoint, you might be like, oh, wow, their guy did really bad. But I can't even get there. I was stunned by how scary that was.
So here is a missed opportunity for Donald Trump. And at one of those moments where he's like, I've never seen anything like that in a debate. That's him. That's him at his best. OK, Donald Trump should have said, you know what, we can sit here and argue about things, but more countries than ever before are developing and pursuing us with threats of nuclear war. I don't want to have the button. I don't think anybody wants to have that decision. But right now, that man will make the decision. Does anyone feel comfortable with that? Because as a citizen, I don't. You don't vote for me? That's fine. This man cannot be president of the United States. Let's stop this. I thought Donald Trump did. That's the best debate he's done up until about the last 30 minutes. But I have to tell you, as I was walking to the studio, I thought to myself, I don't think I could have done that for 90 minutes. I don't think I could have lasted more than an hour with that. He was the most restrained I have ever seen him. The first hour of that debate, I thought, was absolutely terrifying and also absolutely a win for Donald Trump. When Joe Biden first walked out like a cadaver, and my wife said to me at some point, watch his eyes. He doesn't blink. True, I don't know what that's all about, but he doesn't ever blink. And when he hit his first, I thought, if I am the enemy of the United States of America, I am doing everything I can to make sure that man wins. If I am an enemy of the United States, I am thinking attack now. If you were a Democrat, you had to watch that first hour and say, we got to replace him. We cannot. This is how bad. Stu, we saw the State of the Union, and it was a horrible speech, but it was not what we expected. It was, somewhat coherent because he had practiced and he was on a script. Mm-hmm. This is the way he is in meetings. You can't have this guy. Look at the decay of him from 6 months, a year, 2 years. He's asking for 4 more years. He won't understand what's going on in a year from now. This cannot happen. It just can't. And anybody who says he did well, stop listening to them right now. And I'm not saying that because you got to go vote for Donald Trump. Vote for RFK. This guy cannot be president. It is this close to criminal that the 25th Amendment hasn't been invoked.
It's national suicide. It's national suicide.
National suicide.
It's incredible. To your point, really, nobody's saying that he did well. We already have spin from inside the campaign that he supposedly had a cold. That's how they were trying to explain it.
Oh, I've had a cold before. I've never reacted to any questions like that as
I mean, maybe that would theoretically explain part of the voice. Of course, this came out after the debate started, so it's definitely not true. But even if it were true, it wouldn't explain his answers. I didn't understand what he was doing. He was on the right side of our screen. To his right is where all the moderators are, and yet he continued, I don't know, 2/3 of the time to look left. I don't know what was over there. Maybe we'll find out in the coverage. Let me give you just a couple of clips here, Glenn. And by the way, I want to officially say I am very nervous about our bet. This is the first time.
Oh, you should. Stu, I didn't even think about our bet, but 15 minutes into this, I thought every single responsible Democrat is on the phone right now saying, this guy won't make it to January. He won't make it. This is insanity. They're going to replace him. Yeah, they're going to replace him.
It certainly felt that way. And by the way, if you don't know, our bet was based on Biden dropping out. There's more to it than that.
However, I want you to remember, I said he would drop out and be replaced by Michelle Obama. Mm-hmm. And I still think that's a possibility. But I think our bet is null and void if he drops out and it's not Michelle Obama.
I mean, we're having presidential debates, and I'm still nervous about this. It's absolutely insane. And to your point here, Glenn, two stories written in the middle of the debate. One of them by Politico, which has the headline, Biden is toast, calling it now. Biden stumbles, rambles in opening of debate. They quote multiple Democratic aides who somehow got in touch with Politico so they could write an article during the debate. Also, this one from the New York Times. 30 minutes into the presidential debate, I've heard from 3 veteran Democratic presidential campaign officials, and all of them had the same reaction to President Biden's performance. This is a disaster. This is what they're telling the mainstream media, Glenn.
So now we know why they scheduled the debate now. It's clear. If they're calling this during the debate, that's something, you don't take that on lightly, replacing a candidate that everybody just voted for in your party. There is no system other than a non-democratic system. Let's make sure we understand that. A non-democratic system to replace. Now, who are they going to use to replace? It should be the vice president. They're not going to have her run. And what will that cause? This is a disaster, and you don't go out and say that, as a political insider operative during the debate, unless that's the direction we're going. We wanted everybody to see how bad it really is. He can't run.
Glenn, let me give you one clip here. This is SOT Debate 1. This is just a moment from early on in the debate. I'd love to get your reaction on this because I had low expectations for Biden in this debate. I thought he would do poorly. No one thought he would do that mesmerized. I was blown away. My jaw was on the floor almost this entire time.
I know.
Watch this clip and give me a reaction.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
Okay.
He's destroying Medicare.
Loved it.
And Trump, he had a good answer there. But, that's one of the most stunning moments I've ever seen in a presidential debate.
That is why I think he missed it. But he might have made the right call. Do you know? I mean, look at that guy. Who came off looking like the bully? Biden did. He knew he was instructed. I can guarantee it. You've got to get him to lose his cool. And to Donald Trump's credit, he didn't lose his cool at all. He didn't even make a statement there. He just said, well, yep, he did beat it. He didn't mention what the hell are we just watching?
Yeah.
What are we watching?
I almost wanted to hear it from him, though. I have to admit, a couple times I wanted him. He did do it one time. We'll give you the clip later. But
I will tell you the most effective thing he should have said. This man has the finger on the button. He is the only man that can decide what happens if North Korea launches a missile. Do you feel comfortable with that? We should all go home and just think of that.
As a parent, no, I do not feel comfortable with it at all.
No.
Glenn, we're going to go through all of this tomorrow on the radio program.
Can I just give you one more thing?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that the same people who are going to tell you tomorrow that, possibility of a new candidate and this one's going to be great, they're the same people who yesterday said all this age crap, it's nothing. He's healthier than he's ever been before. He's so sharp. You must start asking your friends, who told you he was healthy? Who told you I wouldn't let him drive my car or babysit my kids, let alone have the button? We told you it was like this. They lied to you again. How many times do they have to lie to you before you stop going down this path of destruction with them?
Glenn, thanks so much. We'll see you on radio tomorrow.
You bet.